Happy December 2025. If you are watching this at the time that I'm releasing it, it is December 2025 and it's my birthday month. And to celebrate my birthday, I'm going to be offering 25% off everything on my website apart from in-person classes and workshops. So that's 25% off resources, that's 25% off trainings, that's 25% off e-courses. So have a look on my website and see if there's anything that may be of interest to you. Some things that may be particularly useful at this time are the seasonal bundles. So I have a winter bundle, but then also you can buy all 4 of the bundles in one go. So that will support you in all of your classes and workshops if you're wanting to do themed seasonal classes for anything. So they're included. If you are interested in improving your actual teaching and the way that you approach your classes, then check out some of the e-courses. You may be interested in Tame the Crowd Without Being Loud. That's a behaviour one. Structure for Success. That's all about structuring your lessons and your classes. What else? The Props Like a Pro. That's another one that's all about using props to support and extend in your classes. There's also the document bundle, which has all of the resources, all of the documents that I use in my kids' wellbeing business, all of the risk assessments, all of the letters, all of the everything that I use, all created and done for you. And so if any of these sound interesting, check them out. They're currently 25% off until the 20th of December. Well, until the 19th of December at midnight. So that's when the 25% off will end. So check those out. And if you've got any questions, email me at julia@juliahankins.co.uk. And this is the perfect time to be in with those, because I will be making some changes to all of them in the new year. And anyone who buys those now will also get all of the updates in January or whenever they happen in the new year. So let's get into today's video, and it's all about our winter classes and how we can adapt our winter wellbeing classes to suit the season. And so I feel like the way that we behave around about this time of year as a culture, as a society, or at least in the UK, this is my experience, is completely misaligned with the way that the seasons are. I feel like everything gets ramped up in schools, everything gets ramped up in workplaces, and it's like, oh, celebrate this, do that, this party, this special event, this, we're all very extroverted. There's a lot going on at this time of year. And I feel like it's too much, and I feel like it doesn't match what we actually need and what our bodies need and what we as humans really could do with. And so my personal opinion is that this time of year we should be honouring our deep desire for rest. We should be snuggling down and we should be nurturing our bodies. And so in my classes at this time of year, that is the stance that I take. It's very much a chance to recoup and a chance to restore and a chance to reconnect. And so you might find in your classes with children that children are a bit more hyped up this time of year, a bit more emotional, a bit more on edge. And that's because there's quite often lots of changes. There's lots of changes within the school environment. So whether your classes are in schools or not, if you teach children who go to school, then the chances are that they will bring this with them into their classes with you, because this time of year is when there's lots of changes made to the schedules within the school day. So that could mean that there's extra assemblies going on. It could mean that there's extra Christmas plays, carol concerts, Secret Santa things, all pantomimes, all sorts of exciting things are happening in schools at this time of year, and that can be really quite discombobulating for the children who we care for, whether we are teaching in schools or not. This will still play out. And actually it's the same for children in their homes, is that many children will be having changes in their homes, and they'll know something exciting is coming up, but perhaps they may not be able to cope with it so well. And so I often find that in December, children are slightly more ramped up than they are at other times of the year. And so I wanted to share with you some tips and some things that I do in my own classes that help to kind of reduce this a little bit. And so the first one is to honor that this is happening in the first place, recognize that this is actually happening. So that means honoring your own levels of energy, honoring your own levels of stress or nervous system regulation. So notice what's happening in you. So taking more time for yourself, more breaks, more time within classes, more time before the classes, more time after the classes, more breathing techniques within the classes to check in with your body and what's going on for you, because this time of year can be a lot for us mentally, especially if we celebrate Christmas or celebrate any other kind of holiday that happens around December time. It could be a time where you're thinking of gifts. It could be a time where you're thinking of meeting up with family. And so it could be that you've got a lot of plates spinning in your own head. So acknowledge that, because whatever happens for you also happens for your children. So acknowledge it, honor your own energy levels. So what that means is adapt your classes to suit your energy. So do you need less? Put less in your classes. Do you need simpler? Put that in your classes. Do you need to spend less time planning? So make things simpler for yourself. I've got lots of resources on planning your classes, lots of free videos on that. So check out my planning playlist and you'll get some tips there. So acknowledging and honouring your energy levels, but also honouring and acknowledging those of the children. So when they come in, checking in with them, talking to them about the things that are going on for them, making more space for them to talk, because then that allows them to process it a little bit more. So perhaps if you've got a little time in your class, if it's, for example, an after school class, allowing a little bit more spaciousness for them to talk. And if you're teaching within schools and you don't generally have much time for talking, allow some kind of guided questioning. So you ask a question and they talk to a person next to them about that. And so acknowledging changes that are happening, acknowledging things that are going on for them at this time. I think it's really, really important that we do that and we don't just ignore it and plow on through with lots of exciting things, which can be the temptation at this time of year. So once we've acknowledged it, it's really, I think, powerful to draw in the tools that support us at that time. So saying to the people who we're teaching, I find that I'm feeling really tired, and so we're going to use this practice to support us in this class. Or I notice that I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed and my head is really full, and so I'm going to be doing this particular posture and that will help me with that feeling. And so relating where you are and where the children are emotionally, mentally, physically, and aligning that with your practice and being explicit about that so that the children can learn this is something that can help me at this time. And so that could be that you're teaching them a few different relaxation techniques that they can use in their own lives. And remember remember to be explicit. If you feel overwhelmed at home, you can do this at home. If you feel bit busy in your mind, this is something that you can do. So making those links between what you're teaching in your classes and what they're experiencing in their life and how they can mold those two together. Okay, and so another thing that I really, really love to do at this time of year is to match the environment of the class with the kind of vibe of the time. And so for me, that looks like either bringing in blankets blankets, because it's getting a bit cold at this time of year if you're in the northern hemisphere. And so maybe allowing the children to bring in blankets if you don't have enough blankets yourself, but inviting them to bring in a blanket or a snuggly jumper, or allowing them to use their coats as a blanket for relaxation perhaps. Many of them will have really big puffy coats at this time of year, so if you don't have blankets, then maybe they could use their coats as a blanket, or their hats and gloves as a little pillow, just making it all a little bit more cozy for relaxation. And another thing that I really love to do at this time of year, and children in my classes absolutely love, is bringing in gentle lighting. So it could be fairy lights, it could be electric tea lights, battery operated tea lights. Generally, I find that battery operated things are the best for this, because the venues that you're teaching in may have rules about what you can and can't use in terms of electricity in their venue. So making it cozy and making it, maybe putting some lavender on some eye pillows, obviously being really careful with any use of essential oils and who you've got in your classes, or maybe just making the environment that you're in feel more luxurious, feel more cozy, feel more special. So those are my tips for winter classes. I hope you found them helpful, and I would love to know what do you do this time of year to honour yourself, to honour your children, and to make things special in your classes. So remember, special doesn't necessarily need to mean overexcitable, chaotic, and full of stuff. Sometimes special can mean scaling back, tuning in, and making things just feel more gentle and nurturing, and that can be special too. Don't forget my discounts, 25% off. Check them out.